Welcome to the 𝗦𝗵𝗲 show. We are so excited to always have you so that we can implore our knowledge onto you so that you lead a successful business and life. So that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And it is Friday. I cannot believe, Ria. I don't know about you, but I don't know where the time is just flying. The weeks are just flying by, right?
Time flies so fast when you're busy.
Exactly. And when you're having fun, time just flies. So there you go, friends. So welcome to the show. My name is Alka.
My name is Ria.
And
welcome to our show.
So this morning, I'm going to be sharing from my book, Jillian Michaels, chapter 2. So chapter 1, I talked about your passions, identifying your passions. So about good 8 years ago, I identified my passion. Actually, my passion evolved. It actually came to me one day as I was coming home from work, and I didn't know, and I just discovered by accident, but I'm glad I discovered by accident because it led to what I'm going to talk about. So as I was coming home from work, I saw a dance studio, and I decided to walk in and explore the world of dance and how it can really change my life. And so I remember when I walked in, an instructor met me. His name was George. So George asked me, what did I want to get out of my lesson? What was the first dance that I wanted to learn? And what was and I told him, well, I have no background in dance, but I'm very excited. I'm curious to know as to how it's really going to help and shape me and shape my life. So cut long story short, the next day when I walked into the studio, George, he greeted me and he said, we are going to be doing the rumba. And the rumba, my friends, is the basic of the dance. It's like a square. Your dance is like a square. So it's very, very easy. It's one of the most easiest dance to learn. And so I began to love rumba, and George, he knew that I was really loving it. I was so passionate about the dance. And then from rumba, he evolved me into doing cha-cha, salsa, and all the other 8 Latin dances. And so my passion for dance really grew. And George, my instructor, he saw that I loved dance, and he put me in for my first competition. Wow, I had no idea. A girl who had no background in dance has now identified her passions. And so from that moment on, my first competition was in 2004. I cannot believe that my life during the competitions, because as we know, the dancing world is a very small community and everyone knows everyone. The judges, they get to know you every dance competition because I've done. So through the passions that I want to share with you, that was chapter 1, identifying your passions. Through doing the competitions and the circuits, I've done competitions in Toronto, in Montreal, and in the US. The US was the Emerald Star Ball in New York and the Ohio Star Ball. So those were the biggest competitions that I have done. And let me tell you, when you do the competitions, judges get to know you and your peers, you all become friends because you're traveling through different cities and you get to know one another. So you become friends. So it's a very small knit community. So today I'm going to be talking about chapter 2, which elaborates onto chapter 1, which is why I just spoke about chapter 1 and how when I began to identify my passions, it led me to be free. It led me to really be the woman who I am today because dancing you learn so many other intricacies along the way through your journey and in life. And so chapter 2 is about all in the details. So what I mean by that is, when you have really mastered your passion, when you really have identified your passion, you are crystal clear. What does that passion look like? And for you, my friends, your passion could be you want to open a business. And as Rhea and I earlier on, we were talking about what was our passion. My passion was in the health and fitness space. That was the endeavor that I chose to get into because I was passionate about helping and empowering other women to take control of their health and fitness based off my story. And so chapter 2 really hones into identifying, being crystal clear on your passion. Having a vision is number one. So having a vision, and that vision for me was who I wanted to be, but most importantly, how was I going to evolve into, you know, that person that I truly was. So for example, when I was in the health and fitness space, I had my studio. I was everything. I was like a one-woman show. I was a marketer. I was answering the calls. I was signing people in as clients walked in. I was signing them in. So I was a one-woman show. And at that time, 5 years ago, I didn't have a team, but I did not. So the mistakes that I made, I did not have a team. And number two, the mistakes that I made that you can avoid, my friends, is to identify who are your clients, because the clients who walk in initially, they may not be the right ones. And what I mean by that is that, and everything's about trial and error. So if, like, for example, we had this one client, and initially she was okay, but then like a year into her being at the studio, she began to cause trouble. She was coming in late. She was disruptive. And you know, instructors were so tired of her, and so was I. But when I confronted her, she became rebellious. So that was it. I just had to terminate her. And so over time, you know, we learn from our mistakes. And so what I really want you to just take away from chapter 2 is to be specific as to which endeavor you want to get into. And number 2, you have to avoid clients if they're not the right fit, because not everyone is going to be the right fit. Even today in real estate, you know, clients will come and go. They may be wishy-washy. They may want to buy your programs. They may not want to buy your programs. They're going to make excuses. They're going to do so many things. So objections will come into play, and objections with these things that will stand in your way. So once you confront these objections and you confront people, it's going to make your lives very, very easy. So it's all in the details, and those details are using the tools to having a vision. You know, like meditate, visualization is amazing tools that you can have, and every world-class athlete, all the athletes are using a visualization because they know when they're going to make that next hit, whether it comes, you know, you're playing, say, golf, and how they can actually visualize seeing the strokes, you know, that they're going to hit. So, you know, visualization is so powerful once we begin to learn and utilize these tools. So visualization, meditation is perfect. And I use, you know, I meditate, and it doesn't have to be 30 or 1 hour, which a lot of people often think that meditation, oh my goodness, I can't do it because it needs to be for 1 hour. No, it can only be for 10 minutes. Very, just take out 5-10 minutes throughout your day to just calm yourself down. And that's exactly what I do. I find 10 minutes in my day and I just learn to ground myself, because grounding and through deep belly breathing is I just calm and I feel. So it's in the feeling that we see true expansion. We see things really happening for ourselves and in life. So using these tools, it's going to be very, very powerful. So I wanted to just sit on this for the time being so that you can at least absorb what I've just shared with you and how it can really help you in your life. Ria, is there anything that you can also maybe, what are you utilizing? How are you using any of the tools that I mentioned to really help you in your life?
Thank you, Alka. Thank you for sharing that story. I didn't know that you went into several competitions.
Oh, yeah.
Canada and USA. Was that the reason behind you opening up your own health and fitness? Was it inspired by the dance? Participating in the dance competition?
It wasn't inspired by dance, but it was inspired by my story. And my story was that, I struggled with weight challenge and, self-confidence, self-esteem. Those were the biggest issues that were blockage in my life that led me to open my studio. But then dance was just a secondary, like offshoot from, as I began to transition.
That's great, because I can relate to that, because I love ballroom dancing. I love Rumba. I love foxtrot. I love swing. So I love to dance. And I remembered as a medical student, my mom and I would go ballroom dancing.
Oh, wow.
Now, because I'm a medical student and there's 4 or 5 years of me going through my medical career as a medical student, I have to give up the ballroom dancing, because I need to focus, which is follow one course until successful. I had to focus on my passion, my other passion, which is medicine. But yes, one of my passion in life is ballroom dancing. And how do I ground myself is like what you said earlier. I do meditate. So early in the morning, I do gratitude. I pray the rosary. And then I try to meditate just for a few minutes. Like you said, it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes or an hour, 5 to 10 minutes, deep breathing, and just being, not doing anything, not thinking, and just being surrounded by nature, being attuned to what you have. You're not thinking anything. Your eyes are shut. Your ears and mind are free and not thinking. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. Thank you, Ria. And I had no idea we have things in common. Wow. But, friends, that's what it is. As long as you just learn to just channel, and just, especially in the mornings, is the perfect time when you can just sit still. And like, I wake up at 5 o'clock and beating the sun up just before the sun comes up, you are still, you are at peace, and you just being in that stillness. I mean, we have to practice, and it's over time that I've gotten to, there was a time meditation wasn't part of my life. If you had told me, oh, meditation is really good for you, I would be more reactive than being proactive. Okay, teach me, I want to learn. So now I'm the same woman who loves meditation, and I began to practice only about a year ago. So it's an amazing tool. So these tools, so it's all in the details, chapter 2, and how once you begin to figure out your details, what you need to do, the success you can have in your business and in life will really enlighten you, but also make a huge difference to how you can really elevate and enhance every part of your life and success.